Despite the fact that the playoffs are currently in the conference finals in both conferences, it is time to start looking forward to the next season for most teams in the league. And for many of these teams, they happen to be in the NBA draft lottery, and that made the announcement yesterday very, very interesting. The first 14 picks of the draft have been given to their respective teams, and the Detroit Pistons lucked out, and they managed to get the number one overall pick, which they will almost certainly use to draft Cade Cunningham. Now, it's possible that they don't draft him, and I'm going to be honest, I am not a draft expert. I'm going to be making a few draft videos. Let me just put this out there now. Not a draft expert. I don't watch college. Pretty much everything I know is based off what other people have said and the few highlights I've bothered to watch on YouTube, alright? So if I say something about a draft prospect and you disagree, just let me know in the comments. I am not pretending to be an expert whatsoever on these subjects, so feel free to let me know if I say something dumb, because it's very possible. But anyway, even people as uneducated as myself when it comes to these draft prospects know that Cade Cunningham is pretty clearly the number one overall pick. The dude just had a phenomenal season as a freshman for some Oklahoma college. He's a beast. He looks NBA ready right now. He can score. He's got a big body. He seems like a decent defender. He's got good playmaking. He rebounds. He just kind of does everything you could possibly want. The dude looks like a really solid NBA ready player. I'm excited to see him play, and I really, really hope the Pistons don't screw this up. And that's actually what we're here to talk about today. Not the Pistons screwing up. I've talked about that in the past, I believe. This is one of those franchises that it's very easy to joke on, but the Pistons, for the first time since the 2010s started, I would say. I mean, there were a few times here and there when people thought Andre Drummond was going to be really good, but realistically, ever since like Ben Wallace and Chauncey Billups left the team, this is the first time this team's future is really looking bright ever since the late 2000s. They are finally looking good for the Pistons. They've got a solid, very young roster right now that they are going to be adding Cade Cunningham to. Now, I do not expect this team to make the playoffs next season. Some people have been saying that they will. I just don't see it happening. The East is very good right now, and I can't see this team making such a big jump from 15th in the East all the way up to a top 8 seed. Don't think it's going to happen, no matter how good Cade Cunningham is, unless he happens to be literally the next LeBron James, alright? Don't count on that. However, this team overall has a very nice roster going forward. For the next several seasons, they're going to have Cade Cunningham, obviously. Jeremy Grant is a fantastic secondary scorer and a great defensive player to have on this team. He does a lot. He proved this season that he can be a borderline all-star level player on, well, a terrible team, frankly, but I think he is definitely a guy whose talent will scale as the Pistons improve. Jeremy Grant is a very good player, and he's under contract through 2023. Then they have Killian Hayes, Josh Jackson's under contract next season, Doumbouya, Stewart, and Bey. These players are very nice. Also, Hamidou Diallo, his contract is expiring, but I do expect the Pistons to give him an extension. I would be surprised if they let him walk, even though he didn't do that much this season. He's just a young player. It'd be kind of dumb for them to let him go. Doumbouya is a very good player. Stewart and Bey both just had phenomenal rookie seasons. I believe they're both rookies. I might be wrong on that, but I think they're both rookies. They both just had great rookie seasons. They look like great pieces going forward. Josh Jackson, after pretty much everybody in the league had given up on him, actually had a decent season this year, looking like he might not suck butt. And then Killian Hayes is their point guard of the future. I've seen a whole lot of people telling me that Cade Cunningham is going to be the point guard, that they might need to trade Killian Hayes because they might need to trade Hayes because Cunningham needs to run point. And I gotta be honest, I just don't see it. Yes, he is a very good passer and playmaker, but that doesn't seem like his natural thing. I would say in a way he's a little more like Donovan Mitchell, where you got this player who definitely can pass and play make, but it's not his forte. It's not really what he should be doing. I think Cade Cunningham, and again, haven't watched him much, other people know more than me, but just looking at the stats and looking at the highlights and the stuff I've seen about him, I don't think him running point guard, at least coming into the league, is what would be best for him. He seems much more like a shooting guard for me, who can function very well as a secondary playmaker, similar to a guy like Donovan Mitchell or a Zach LaVine, even like a CJ McCollum to some extent, alright? However, I believe Cade Cunningham can be better than any of those players. It's very possible he comes in as a rookie and is already competing with Jeremy Grant to be the best player on the team. This dude very much looks NBA ready. He very much looks like he's going to make an immediate impact on this team. And looking at the Pistons, they could be significantly better next season. Again, don't expect them to make the playoffs, but their defense was 16th this season, and for a team that was as god-freaking bad as they were, an average defense is not a terrible thing. Their offense is what really sucked, but Killian Hayes didn't play much due to injuries and the fact that he just didn't play well. Assuming some improvement from him, and assuming that the rest of the guys keep their thing going, you know, doing what they've been doing, the rookies keep playing well, etc., and Cade Cunningham comes in and he's not a freaking bust, he's, you know, just what everybody expects him to be, this team could very much be a league average team next season, and I keep saying this, I don't repeat myself, don't expect them to make the playoffs, but I think a 10th seed or an 11th seed is not at all out of the question for this Detroit Pistons team, and considering how incredibly young their overall roster is, looking at their core, the oldest dude's Jeremy Grant, he's 27 right now, the rest of these guys, Hayes is 19, Doumbouya and Stewart are both 20, Bey is 22, Diallo's 22, I believe Cunningham is going to be either 19 or 20. Sorry about that car noise in the background, by the way, I've got my windows open. What was I saying? Josh Jackson's 24. This is a very young overall team, and they've got plenty of time to improve. The future looks bright for the Detroit Pistons. To summarize this video, alright, I'm summarizing it here at the end. The future looks bright for this team. I am feeling pretty good. If I'm a Pistons fan, which I'm not, but if you're somebody like Crispy Flakes, he has all the reason in the world to be feeling good right now. It's going to take a few more years, but with Cade Cunningham, as long as you don't screw this up, y'all could be in the playoffs again in 2 to 3 seasons. I could really see that. The Pistons' future is looking bright.